Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Kumusta po kayo? Sana nasa mabuti po tayong kalagayan habang nakikinig at inaaral ang iba't ibang proseso na learning modalities o paraan ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto ngayong school year 2020 to 2021. So pagkatapos po ninyong marinig ang proseso ng formative at summative assessment sa tatlong learning modalities, ay akin namang tatalakayin ang proseso at pamamaraan na maaaring gamitin sa online assessment gamit ang prescribed online platforms ng SDO Marikina. But we have to take note, we'll still adapt the online assessment process presented to us by Ma'am Leia a while ago, which is based on DepEd Order 31, Series 2020, or the Interim Policy Guidelines for Assessment in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Now, let's have a short review of the three schemes for online learning delivery modality that were presented to us and demonstrated yesterday. So what are these three schemes? When is the best time to use them? Sige nga, ano-ano nga ulit yung mga yon? Okay, the first one is SA. Ano yung SA? It's the synchronous or asynchronous scheme. So, kailan po natin ito ginagamit? So, this scheme shall be used if there are hard concepts and terms that need to be clarified first by the teacher before letting the learners do the activities on their own. So, this is applicable to the primary level or K to 3. Our learners in this case stage need to listen first to their teacher's instructions and examples in order for them to complete the remaining activities for the week. Next, what is the second scheme? It's the SAS or the synchronous, asynchronous, synchronous scheme. So just like what Mr. Santos have discussed yesterday, this scheme is like scheme 1, except that it has another synchronous session for learners who need assistance from the teacher to catch up with the lesson. The least mastered competencies must be taken into consideration by the teacher in preparing appropriate remedial activities for these learners. The second synchronous session is only for identified learners. Take note ha, hindi po lahat ay kasama sa second session ng asynchronous. It is only for identified learners who missed the first synchronous session or those learners who failed in the post-assessment and learners who are consistently not submitting the required performance task outputs. And take note, ulitin ko, not all learners are included in the second synchronous session. How about the third scheme? It is the AS or the asynchronous synchronous session. Okay? So this scheme is appropriate for lessons that require minimum supervision from an adult, teacher, or parent. If you're familiar with the flipped classroom, parang ganito po yung scheme na ito, yung asynchronous-synchronous. No? So instructions in every activity are clearly defined, and easy to follow. And during the synchronous session, it is done for the purpose of providing feedback to learners on the results of the activities taken. And the key here, my dear teachers, is that you teachers must have a clear announcement, clear directions or detailed instructions on what to do so that the learners can easily follow and eventually submits the correct outputs. So if you have noticed in the three schemes, learners answer or do most of the activities and assessments during asynchronous sessions. It was also discussed yesterday that there are prescribed online learning platforms, SDO Marikina City. And it was mentioned that for grades 4 to 6, the following platforms are being used by teachers and students. No? The Google Classroom for organizing their lessons, no? Plus other Google apps such as the Google Forms, the Google Slides, no? And Google Docs. During synchronous, no? Ginagamit din ng teachers at bata yung Google Meet for video teleconferencing, no, or synchronous classes. And then they use Quizalize, the application or the Quizalize tool for taking interactive online assessments like the module pre-test and post-test. Ito yung tinatawag nating subukin at tayahin na lesson assessment. For grade 7 to 12, that is junior high school to senior high school, no? The prescribed online learning platforms are the following. One is the e-learning platform na alam naman natin na ito ay operational na since 2013 at meron po tayong e-learning, Center of E-Learning School, which is the Jesus de la Peña National High School. Okay? So the e-learning platform serves as an electronic instructional materials repository, no? It offers also opportunity to prepare, no, and share online learning assessments. It has also a discussion forum, no, and also the Google Meet is recommended by our division office for video teleconferencing and for conducting online classes or synchronous classes. And of course, Google Forms for taking interactive online assessments. I am aware that most of you, dear teachers, have already attended capability training on the use of these online learning platforms and tools. Am I right? Oo. SDO Marikina also conducted a series of trainings and workshops on how to maximize the use of the e-learning platform, the Google Meet, the Google Classroom, and the Quizalize applications. So how about our kinder to grade 3 learners? Kasi hindi yata nabanggit. Ano ba ang prescribed platform para sa kanila? No? What platform are they going to use in their online classes? By default, since learners in the primary level are still dependent, no? Dependent learners, they still need adult supervision and close monitoring by their parents in answering the activities in the modules. We do not require them to enroll in any of the platforms prescribed by our division. But you teachers in the primary level have the freedom to use any online platforms and applications to engage the parents or guardians, especially in giving instructions and in monitoring the learner's progress. So, partner po natin ang mga magulang at guardians sa pag-aaral, no, ng kanilang mga anak, lalong-lalo na sa kinder hanggang grade 3. Okay. Now, in online assessment, alam niyo mas challenging na sa modular pagdating sa pag-assess, no? Yung paano ba i-monitor yung pagsagot ng bata. But in online assessment, tingin ko mas madali. Kasi in online assessment, the teacher has the option to conduct, no? To conduct this assessment whether in synchronous or asynchronous session, no? But if you have observed yesterday, sabi ko nga kanina, in the demonstration of the 3 schemes, most of the formative and summative assessments happen during asynchronous sessions due to the limited time for synchronous. Another thing, in asynchronous, it happens on the learner's schedule. Kumbaga, self-paced learning. And it was emphasized yesterday that what we have developed is a self-learning module. And the teacher will only provide online materials for reading, streaming videos, written works, no? Performance-based activities, and exams for evaluation using a learning platform. In online assessment, there are many platforms and applications that you can use. Napakadami niyan. At marami po kayong makikitang free applications, no, na pwedeng i-download. And although we have prescribed online platforms and applications, you are not restricted po to create interactive learning materials and assessment using other platforms and tools like the Kahoot, Mentimeter, math applications, science applications that you think can be helpful in getting the interest of the learners and engaging them to participate fully. So, pili lang po tayo ng pwede nating gamitin sa bawat lesson na aakma doon. No? And another thing in online assessment, the teacher can easily generate, no, assessment report. No? The teacher can easily generate the summary of assessment with graphical representations like bar graph or pie graph. In online assessment also, you can, dahil nga mas madaling mag-generate ng assessment report, mas madali rin tayong makapagbigay ng feedback to learners and parents, no? You can immediately get the result of the activities and summative tests or quizzes undertaken by the learners from the online applications and platforms, no, used by the teacher in facilitating the assessment. You can immediately give feedback to learners and parents on the result of the assessment online. Kahapon, 'di ba, nakakatuwa yung mga na-raise na questions kung sigurado ba tayo na yung learner talaga ang nagsasagot online, 'di ba? It's as teachers and as parents also, no? Let us always give them the benefit of the doubt. Pero wag po tayong magsasawa na i-remind sila sa kahalagahan ng pagiging matapat. No? Honesty is the best policy, nga. And sa sitwasyon po natin ngayon, yes, I agree with you that it's really a big challenge on our part to monitor the learner's progress, especially in the modular distance learning. But in online learning modality, it's easier because all our platforms that we are using, the e-learning platform, the Google Classroom, and the Quizalize, no? All of these platforms have an embedded online monitoring mechanism. Kaya mas madali na nating i-monitor yung ating learner's progress. At syempre, kung nakakasagot ba yung bata sa pinost nating mga quizzes or summative test online. So what are the online assessment platforms and applications that we are currently using, no? When it comes to online platforms to be used for formative and summative assessment at present, SDO Marikina prescribed platforms for grade 4 to 6 learners is the Quizalize apps. Nagamit nyo na ba ito? Alam ko ginagamit na ito ng ating grade 4 to 6 learners. At alam ko din na marami na po tayong nakitang mga assessment na naka-upload po doon. No? So, how about our high school or junior high school to senior high school? Meron tayong existing na e-learning platform na ginagamit at meron siyang online learning assessment feature kung saan po pwede po tayong mag-encode directly doon ang ating mga online assessments. Ulitin ko, how about the K-3? Since most of our learners in K-3 ay purely modular sila, only a few of them are enrolled in purely online, teachers may utilize applications which they can use to assess their online learners like the Google form. Okay. So, isa-isahin po natin itong mga applications na to. Itong Quizalize, I think Sir Ryan Rehensya ay nag-prepare din ng video para dito sa Quizalize para mas maintindihan po natin yung detalye nito. Ito po yung ginagamit ng grade 4 to 6 learners, no, at present. So the Quizalize is used for taking interactive online assessments, yung module 3 test and post test, ito yung subukin at tayahin, no, or the lesson assessment in the module. And I think, and I am also aware that Sir Ryan, our Division IT Officer, has conducted capability trainings for teachers on how to effectively and efficiently manage this platform. And based on feedback from our learners and teachers, it is user-friendly. It is easy to access because it is less technical. Okay? And for the Zinc Google Classes, students will be able to access activities through Google Classroom. Basta meron lang classroom. So, pwedeng i-link sa Google Classroom itong Quizalize. And it has also, you can also generate graphical presentation, no, of item analysis and summary result of assessment. Our Division e-learning platform, sabi ko nga kanina, the Division e-learning program has been operational since 2013. And since then, there are features and functionalities that were added, no, to make it more user-friendly and responsive to the needs of our learners and e-teachers. At hanggang ngayon, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang improvement na ginagawa upang mas lalong makatugon sa pangangailangan ng ating mga teachers at mga learners na gumagamit nito. So katulad ng ibang mga online learning platforms, it provides repository of outputs. It can monitor, the teachers can monitor student logins. Kaya alam mo kung ilang oras, no, or ilang minuto lang nagtagal ang bata sa pagbukas ng mga uploaded lessons na nandun sa ating platform sa bawat learning area. And just like Quizalize, you can also generate summary result of assessment. Okay. The next one is the Google Form, no? What is Google Form? Alam ko, familiar na po tayo dito lahat. At talagang ito yung pinakagamitin na application when it comes to creating forms, no, for data collection purposes. And students and teachers can use Google Forms to make surveys, survey, quizzes, or event registration sheets. And data gathered using the form is typically stored in a spreadsheet. Yung ginamit natin sa attendance at registration, pati na rin sa evaluation natin ngayong teacher's inset, ay halimbawa lamang ng pwedeng paggamitan ng Google Form. Lalong-lalo na rin sa paggawa ng mga quizzes. So talagang pwedeng-pwede talagang gamitin ito sa paggawa ng mga quizzes or activities. And it has the following advantages, no? User-friendly, easy to access, and less technical. Easy recording of scores. Kasi automatic na nagkakaroon tayo ng generation ng report, no? Learners can immediately see their scores, kaya mas madaling magbigay ng feedback kasi kita na agad nila kung ilan yung score nila sa bawat quiz na kanilang tinake. And it offers us automatic computation of mean, median of scores, and range of scores. You can also generate graphical presentation of item analysis. Now, bago po tayo mag-create ng quiz, no? Bago po tayo mag-create ng quiz or summative test online, no? Kailangan itong mga preparatory activities na to ay nagawa na natin. Number 1, you need to review the uploaded standard learning materials. Kasi yun yung basihan mo ng paggawa ng iyong mga quizzes or summative test. And in the e-learning platform and in the Quizalize, meron po tayong tinatawag na e-designers po merong gumagawa ng mga IT personnel, sila yung taga-encode at nag-upload. Importante po na role ng teacher huwag natin lang hayaan na basta nakapost doon. We really need to review the pre-made quiz or summative test uploaded in the platform para mabawasan po yung ating error or yung tinatawag natin, check natin yung accuracy. And you can also encode the quiz in the prescribed platform. So mamaya, papakita ko yung isang video clip na gawa ng Jesus de la Peña kung paano mag-create ng online assessment. No? And after encoding the quiz or after reviewing the uploaded pre-made quiz or summative test, you can share it with the learners on the specified schedule. Ayun yung kagandahan kasi meron tayong pwede nating lock, i-unlock, no? Yung mga nagawa na natin na mga quizzes. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko po.
Creating an assessment. There are two types of online assessment, multiple choice and true or false. To create an assessment, click Manage tab. Then click Create Assessment. Fill this out. Assessment type, multiple choice, or true or false. Click the quarter, first, second, third, or fourth. Click the desired number of items and type the assessment title. Then encode the direction or instruction and save assessment. Share, unlock, and assign your online assessment.
Okay. So yun mayroon siyang sharing feature, no? Kung kailan mo siya pwedeng i-share, nasa control yan ng teacher. Now, let's proceed to the online learning delivery formative assessment process. Katulad din po ito ng modular, pero ang kaibahan lang, meron po tayo, naka-online siya, naka-online. At lahat po ng ating online assessment, pag na-upload na siya, ano ang gagawin ni teacher, The teacher instructs the learners to go online, study, and answer the different parts of the module using the Google Classroom with Quizalize app or using the e-learning platform, Yun lang. Siyempre, yung learner magla-login gamit ang kanyang username and password assigned to him or her. Using their DEP and email address, learners access the Google Classroom with Quizalize app or the e-learning platform. Next, the learner completes the assigned activities. Doon sa e-learning, meron po tayong announcement portion na kung saan doon nagtatype ang ating mga e-teachers ng mga detailed instructions niya na susundin ng mga bata within the week, para dun sa lesson na yon. So the learner studies and answers the parts of the module, yung mga nandun, yung what I know or yung subukin, pre-assessment activity, what's more or yung pagyamanin. But take note, answer only one activity from the 3 given activities in the module. Pero ito po ay depende pa rin sa ating, sa bawat learning area. Ano pa yung kanyang ginagawa doon, yung kanyang sinasagutan, yung what I can do o yung isagawa, yung assessment or tayahin. Pagkatapos niyan, the learners submit their answers on the assessment or tayahin part of the Google Drive folder repository created by the teacher. Or kung meron siyang mga mga outputs or mga performance-based task outputs na like for example yung mga videos na kailangan niyang i-upload, po pwede po yun doon sa Google Drive folder or repository na create ni teacher. Okay? Then, pagkatapos niyang gawin yon lahat-lahat during the synchronous session, lahat ng mga formative assessment na nabanggit ko kanina, okay, that the learner will now answer the feedback form. Ano tong feedback form na to? So, bawat matapos na lesson or module, kailangan magsagot ng bata ng feedback form. Ito po ay ididetalye po sa atin bukas during the discussion of the monitoring of learners' progress ng aming mga kasama pa. At syempre, no, yung teacher will also log in at ano ang gagawin ni teacher? Monitor niya yung compliance ng bata, i-record niya kung dapat i-record yung mga scores na na-generate niya, no? From the e-learning platform or from the Google Classroom. At syempre, magpo-provide din siya ng feedback sa ating mga learners. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, napakaganda po ng ating mga online learning platforms kasi meron tayong mechanism to monitor, no, the learner's progress and at the same time to generate the assessment result. So pag na-generate natin yung assessment result, the learner can see their scores and at the same time, no, the teacher can now provide feedback to them, to the learners. Okay. Balikan ko. Sa pagbibigay ng feedback po sa ating mga learners, maaaring gamitin yung feature ng e-learning na kung saan o pwede niyang makausap yung bata using the Messenger app. So, meron na rin po tayong Messenger app sa e-learning. Napakaganda po. So, panoorin po natin ito.
How to use the Messenger app in the platform. Step 1. To search for the name of the recipient. On the right side corner, simply scroll up and down. Or type the name of the recipient on the search name box. Step 2. Click Send Message button to start the conversation. Step 3. And if you will attach a file, click on a Attach File icon. Browse for the file and click Send icon.
Okay. So may option po tayo na kung pwede po tayong, ang learners ay pwedeng magpadala ng file through the Messenger application na embedded na po dun sa ating platform. At pwede rin po natin silang makausap, personal or individually po, kung meron tayong concern sa isang learner, dun po natin siya po pwedeng kausapin using the Messenger or the chat box. Ano po. Okay. Now, let's proceed to the online learning delivery summative assessment process. Katulad din po ng formative assessment. Alam ko sa oras na ito, alam niyo na ang kaibahan ng formative and summative assessment kasi na-discuss na sa atin kanina ni Ma'am Janet at ni Ma'am Leia, no? So dito naman, katulad kanina, parehas lang din naman ang ating gagawin. The teacher will instruct learners to go online on the scheduled day of assessment. The number of items varies. So the assessment should be prepared ahead of time and send it online to the learners. And using their DepEd email address, the learners access the Google Classroom with Visualize app At using their username and password naman, they can access the e-learning platform. Ano ang role ng guardian, ano? Pag sa pagkakataong ito, no? Ang guardian, the guardian or parent should ensure the stability of the internet connectivity sa kanilang bahay. Although it's beyond our control, sabi nga kahapon, it's beyond our control yung mga issues natin sa internet connectivity. And then, the learner answers the post-assessment. The learners answer the post-assessment or yung tinatawag nating summative assessment part. No? Dun sa module, pag modular ka, makikita mo dun sa dulo ng ating mga modules, self-learning modules, yung post-assessment or maikling pagsusulit sa mga Tagalog naman na learning area. Maikling pagsusulit or post-assessment. No? Learners answer the post-assessment or summative assessment part on the Quizalize app. For the performance task, no, they submit the performance task, their outputs, saan? Sa Google Drive folder or sa repository created by the teacher. No? Siyempre si teacher, magla-login para makita niya yung learner's progress kung nasagutan ng bata, yung mga summative assessment na ginawa. At pag nakita niya, he or she can generate, no, the summary report or yung tinatawag nating results of the summary assessment. At good thing, sabi ko nga kanina, meron po tayong mechanism po dun sa ating mga online learning platforms prescribed by the Division Office kung paano mag-generate ng summative assessment results. Then ano ang gagawin ng teacher? No? The teacher will analyze the results, no? Identify the learners who lag behind. If, no, 75% of the class passed the test, no? Anong gagawin ni teacher? The teacher shall provide immediate feedback to the parents or learners. At ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat, no? He or she will identify now the learners who need intervention or remediation. No? Conduct intervention or remediation to the 25% of the learners who failed in the test. So if 50% of the class failed, the teachers reteach the competency, applying a more appropriate strategy to ensure mastery of the competency. Okay. The teacher will identify the least mastered skills. Sa pag-a-analyze nyo kasi ng assessment result, the teacher shall identify, no, that least mastered skills and provide reassessment. So if results are, say, satisfactory, learners can go to the next module or to the next lesson. The same process will be done in the succeeding lessons or modules. Okay? So that's the online learning delivery summative assessment process. Now, let me show you a screen video clip on how to submit performance task outputs using the repository, the e-learning platform.
How to use the repository in the platform. Step 1. From the Home tab, click or select on the subject area. Step 2. Click on the Repository tab. Step 3. Click on the Upload File button. Step 4. Choose a specific folder, add file description, and choose File button to add file. Step 5. Click on the Save File button to upload.
Okay, so may option po tayo, no? May feature po ang ating ang ating e-learning platform na kung saan meron tayong repository, no, of outputs. Doon mag-send ang bata or mag-upload ng bata ng kanyang performance-based task outputs o di kayang summative assessment output kung kinakailangan. Okay? And meron din po tayo ditong video clip on how to monitor our learners' online assessment.
Monitoring of students' online assessment and levy. Click the desired section. Then click Summary to see the score of the students.
Okay? So, katulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, may mechanism na pong embedded sa ating platform on how to monitor our learners' progress. Lalo na yung kanilang pag-take ng online assessment at student learning. No? So,
How to
okay. So, after the preparatory activities, nalaman na rin natin yung ating online learning formative and summative assessment process, no? Let's have the post-assessment activities na summarize na lang din ito. Na-summarize ko na siya, no? So, the post-assessment activities, remember all of these. Number 1, check the generated summary of assessment. Okay? Number 2, check the outputs of learners in the assigned performance task. And number 3, record the results of the written works and performance task outputs in the e-class record. Okay? So, that ends my presentation on online assessment. Magandang umaga po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.